In this episode, we're unpacking the most common reasons why pregnancy just isn't happening, even when everything looks normal on paper, including one particular cause that you may not expect. Plus, you'll also learn the exact steps I would recommend to take to get answers and solutions so you can finally get pregnant naturally. Welcome to the Finally Get Pregnant Naturally podcast, the podcast helping women identify the real reasons you haven't conceived or stayed pregnant so you and your partner can finally grow the family of your dreams. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Wood. Let's dive in, shall we? Welcome to the Finally Get Pregnant Naturally podcast. We are going to talk about unexplained infertility, and let's just start with the hard truth, the elephant in the room. Unexplained infertility is not really a diagnosis. It is a label of exclusion, meaning we ran some basic labs and didn't find an obvious issue. And when I mean basic labs, I mean basic surface level labs. And I know this to be true because I have talked with countless women who are coming to me and saying, I have been trying for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, even more. And when we start talking, they share that, yeah, they've had some labs, but like the labs that they've actually had were pretty surface level. They were pretty basic, like maybe your thyroid, maybe some cycle day 3 hormones. Yes, maybe they had a semen analysis or maybe like an HSG, some other tests and things like that. But that's not actually telling us what's going on inside the body, because just because they didn't find anything doesn't mean that there's not an issue. And in fact, the root cause can either be hiding in plain sight and it's just completely missed, or it's something that you're not going to find on these surface level labs or even tests, right? Because let's just say they do an HSG and you have a blocked tube or something like that. But why? What is going on with that, right? Why is that happening? So that's where we have to go deeper. So I would say that if we were to summarize, there's about 5 core categories where fertility roadblocks tend to show up. Now, I'm going to just say, like, this may not be all inclusive, but there's about 5 main categories, and I want to walk you through each. And I want to give you examples from some real clients that maybe you can relate to. So, number 1, hormonal imbalance. This is one of the most frequent and often mismanaged causes. So if you think about your hormones as a symphony, estrogen, progesterone, LH, FSH, DHEA, cortisol, thyroid, blood sugar, like glucose, insulin, all of these things need to be in a rhythm. But in so many women who are coming to me that are struggling and that I work with are dealing with chronic stress, poor detoxification, gut issues, even post birth control issues as well. And all of these things are affecting this rhythm. And when your hormonal rhythm is affected, that can affect ovulation, right? Ovulation disorders are so common, but a lot of it comes down to hormonal imbalance. But then you have to take so let's just say someone has an ovulation issue, they have irregular cycles, or they're ovulating late. And let's just say they were diagnosed with PCOS, PCOS being the hormonal imbalance. But then you have to take it a little bit deeper. What is causing that hormonal imbalance? Are you really stressed? Are you not getting quality sleep? Are you not supporting a healthy blood sugar regulation with diet? One client came to me with a luteal phase defect. So her progesterone was tanked, but also her estrogen was struggling as well. She was burnt out and not eating enough fat and protein to support hormone production. So we rebalanced her hormones through nourishment, nervous system regulation, and supporting her adrenals. And she got pregnant naturally within, it was like 2 or 3 cycles after implementing these things. So, number two, egg quality and ovarian reserve. This is often talked about in terms of age, right? Once we turn 35, our fertility just dives off of a cliff. But age is not the full picture here, right? I have women messaging me who are in their 20s who have bottomed out AMH levels, very high FSH, all of these things in it. And they're just being told that they have premature ovarian insufficiency, but I call BS in most cases, and it's because we're not diving deep enough to see what the heck is going on. So, yes, low AMH and high FSH can certainly point to declining egg reserve, but I have seen women with an AMH of 0.2 conceive naturally when we address stress, mitochondrial support, inflammation, and mineral depletion, among many other things. So please, if you're listening to this and you've been told you have low AMH or poor egg quality, because that is just such a common one to hear, it's not a death sentence. It's not as black and white as we think. And it's often a reflection of your environment, your stress load, your internal terrain. And for the most part, these things can be shifted, okay? And then we have structural issues and reproductive health conditions. So this could include endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, blocked fallopian tubes, uterine polyps, or ovarian cysts. Again, just highlighting many of the common ones. So endometriosis in particular, it can go undiagnosed and it can also be very misunderstood. And it's not just painful periods and buildup in the body. It's an inflammatory, immune disrupting condition that can make implantation, hormones, and egg quality suffer. And then you have PCOS, where so many are just lumped into one size fits all, but there's actually 4 types. And many women are being misdiagnosed or overlooked because they don't fit the textbook diagnosis of PCOS. Bottom line, if your cycles are irregular or painful and you have been told that you don't qualify to be diagnosed for something because you're not checking off all the boxes, you want to dig deeper, okay? I have had clients with PCOS-like tendencies, but they were never given an official PCOS diagnosis. And I do want to highlight that sometimes couples are dealing with anatomical or genetic issues, which make natural conception extremely difficult, if not at all possible. However, I do want you to know that if you decide to go down the IVF route with or without donor sperm or donor eggs, there are still things that can hinder your IVF cycle from sticking. And you do, like, I would still recommend digging deeper to make sure that nothing is coming up before beginning an IVF cycle for optimal outcomes. One very like quick example could be, let's say someone is having a transfer of donor eggs. And one of the things that we would look at, one of the many things, would be the vaginal microbiome. If your vaginal microbiome is not in a healthy state where it could be receptive to healthy implantation for one reason or another, that is something that you're going to want to look into, reveal, and address before you do that transfer. So whether you are dealing with anatomical or genetic and IVF is necessary, depending on whatever other things might be going on, there are still things that I would recommend that you dive in to basically cross your T's and dot your I's and leave no stone unturned to make sure that you're getting the best possible outcomes. Okay. Number 4 is male factor infertility. Here's a truth bomb. Male factor contributes to 40 to 50% of fertility challenges, yet this piece can be often overlooked or not ever considered until years down the road, which is mind-blowing. Poor sperm quality, like low motility, low count, high DNA fragmentation. These can be caused by nutrient deficiencies, toxin exposure, medications, excessive heat, EMFs, emotional distress, so many different things. Even hormonal imbalances can affect your sperm quality, and that's possible in men as well. Yet, so many men have never had a proper semen analysis, or an issue that I'm seeing is a male had a semen analysis in the beginning of the fertility journey, and then 3 years have gone by and he hasn't had a repeat analysis. People are just assuming that because he had one decent analysis that he's good to go. Or even if he's fathered children before, sometimes people are under the impression that he should have no issues fathering another child, but that is not the truth because sperm regenerate about every 72 days or so. So he could have great sperm health in January and come April, he could have some issues, right? So these are things that we want to be addressing ahead of time. It doesn't take that much to have a semen analysis. You can even do that at home now. So this is a team effort if you're not a solo parent by choice. And this is exactly why I work with couples and not just women. Number 5. So this is the one that no one talks about in the conventional space, but I'm seeing it every day in my DMs, in my clients, every single day. And that is energetic or emotional blocks, traumas, right? Unprocessed grief, fears, traumas, limiting beliefs around motherhood, feeling safe to be a mother, to bring a child in, worthiness. All of these live in our body and can create resistance. I like to think of it as kinking the energy hose because we are energy beings and energy is always moving. Okay. So this resistance can affect us on an energetic level, hormonally, physically, in so many different ways. And this doesn't mean that it's all in your head. It means your mind-body connection is real. Your body, your subconscious is always listening and it's creating patterns to help keep you safe. And a lot of these patterns were built and made when we were younger. Okay. And we don't realize that we're still living out these patterns, but they don't necessarily serve us anymore. So I have had women get pregnant after doing womb healing sessions or emotional clearing, even after years of struggling to conceive. So do not dismiss this as being a potential issue on your fertility journey. So what do, right? What do you do when you're being told everything looks fine, but you're being told to do yet another IUI cycle or going on to do IVF, repeating IVF, whatever it may be, and you're still not pregnant? You dig deeper. I've had so many women tell me that I know something is off, but like they just don't know how to move forward from that. All they know is what their doctor is telling them, and that's do another IUI, do another round of IVF. Like I'm seeing women fail an IVF cycle and then that next cycle, they're jumping right back in. It's like, whoa, pump the brakes, take a step back, give your body a minute to breathe. Whew. How are we not taking a step back and thinking something is amiss? There's something out of balance here. What is that? In changing your IVF protocol, chances are that's not going to do the trick. So this is where we want to go deeper, okay? Looking at functional testing, looking at comprehensive lab panels. I don't just want your TSH. I want the full thyroid panel, okay? I don't just want your cycle day 3 hormones. I want them, but that's not all I want. I want your CRP level, your homocysteine, like those are just some examples. And even, let me give you a really good example here. Some basic labs that could be drawn for you is an A1C, maybe even a fasting glucose. You know what's not always drawn with labs is a fasting insulin. I have 2 clients right now whose A1C and fasting glucose looked picture perfect. Okay? They fit even the optimal levels that we look for. Their fasting insulin, a whole different story. Their fasting insulin is telling me that they are in the early beginning stages of insulin resistance. And you know what? It's lining up with their delayed ovulation and their irregular cycles. Yet, since everything was looking normal on these basic labs, they were told that everything looks fine and that they don't have PCOS, even though these women are wondering, why am I ovulating late? Why do I have irregular cycles? Because there are some labs that your typical conventional doctor is not looking at. So comprehensive labs, your mineral status, your gut health. How is your body's detox capacity? Nervous system regulation, energetic blocks, not to mention looking at your lifestyle, your sleep, the water that you're drinking, the air that you're breathing, the food that you are taking in into your body. All of these things will not be addressed in a doctor's office, okay? Unless you have an exceptional, one-of-a-kind doctor who just gets it and who has done the research and work and has empowered themselves with this information. This person is rare, all right? This doctor is rare. I'm not going to say that they don't exist because I know that there are absolutely amazing doctors out there, but it's rare. And this is exactly what I help my clients do inside my one-on-one program. Because when we find the root of why you're struggling, why is there an imbalance in the body, and then we address it and we nourish your whole mind, body, spirit, and we bring it back into balance. Your body has the blueprint in terms of what it needs to do to conceive. It's just we are also out of balance in this modern day and age for one reason or another, that sometimes we have to give our bodies more support than maybe our parents or their parents and our ancestors. So if nothing else, I want you to hear this. I want you to feel this within your body, within your bones. You are not broken. You are not out of time. There is a reason, and it can be revealed. Okay? With the right steps, it can be revealed. So let's figure this out together. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm so happy to just listen to you, listen to your story, be there for you, and just talk about what you've been going through, what you've tried, and then some potential options that could help you create the family of your dreams, because you were meant to be a mother, and it's time that we helped your body remember how. So, in this episode, we talked about 5 main categories that are common reasons for hindering pregnancy and a healthy pregnancy, and then also some steps that you can take to dig a little deeper so you can find answers, but not just answers, also solutions, so you can optimize your fertility, so you can have the family that you desire. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. I do this for you, for my community. I want to be a pillar of support. So when you're listening, that shows me that I'm actually supporting someone on the other end, and that just lights me up so much. So I just want to say thank you for being here. And I will see you on our Thursday episode, where I'm actually going to be sharing how you can address any energetic or emotional blocks that you may be having on your fertility journey, no matter what level it may be, no matter where you are on the spectrum in terms of that. But yes, I will see you on Thursday's episode, and have a good day.